Hi, darlings. Thank you so much for joining me on the Creative Retreat channel today. Today, I have a Bible journaling process for you from the For the Good devotional here in my Interleave Bible, and I cannot wait to get some study notes here in my Bible. First, I'm going to swatch some pens I had in my stash that I think match with the kit, and then I'm going to block off the section of scripture that I want to focus on here in Genesis chapter 50, and then I'm going to pull out some of the things that I think I'm going to use. I knew I wanted to use the stamp set and these little stamp blocks. One comes in solid and one in an outline. I wanted to use these to kind of create a small mural of puzzle pieces fitting together to speak about Joseph's story. So I am journaling here in chapter 50 of Genesis, but Julie so beautifully pointed out some of the miraculous events or just events that happened during Joseph's life that all fit together as puzzle pieces for the end result of God's purpose in his life, which was to save a nation. So I am going to be using two colors to stamp these out here in my page. I am using the colors Mermaid Teal and also Peacock. So I go ahead and stamp the solid one in Mermaid Teal, and then I'm going to be using the Peacock for the outlines, and you'll see me stamp twice with this Mermaid Teal. I really wanted a saturated color for the Mermaid Teal and that solid stamp, and then I'll go in with the Peacock Blue. I will stamp some of those outline puzzle pieces, and then I'm going to be doing a soft kiss to the ink pad to fill in that same one, but just with a little bit less impression, so to speak. And I love how that turned out. Both colors are there, except the Mermaid Teal is super pigmented, and then that Peacock color is more soft on that background. So in a minute here, you'll see me count out some of these puzzle pieces. I wanted to make sure there were 6 of them, one to house my date, and 5 of them so I can number them to point to the different points that Julie has in the devotional that are the events in Joseph's life. So I go ahead and put away my inks, and now I'm going to grab the alpha stamps. I have those different points summarized on this to-do list post-it, and then I'm going to grab these tile alphas that came with the physical kit, and I am going to put out the numbers 1 through 5. So I'll have 1 through 5 on these puzzle pieces that all fit together to create one picture. And then under that, I will be numbering 1 through 5 again, and then I'll be writing out those different points. Julie goes into details about those. She even gives the different points in scripture references for each one of those points in Joseph's life. But I really wanted to create one page where I can bring all of it cohesively. And I love that I was able to do this in chapter 50, which is where Joseph speaks to his brothers and lets them know that what they meant for his life was something to harm him, but God used all that and he meant it for good. Now you'll see me grab my roller pen. I'm just going to add a white outline around those boxes. This is just going to help it pop off a bit more off of that ink color. And then now, as I told you, I'm going to grab the same tile alphas, but just in, or tile numbers, but just in that teal color to number 1 through 5. And then I'll be able to list out all those events down below. So in the devotional, Julie speaks about Joseph's life, which is just a great example of somebody's life who's gone wrong and then ends up being good for the glory of God. And we start off talking about how he had a privileged childhood. He was his father's favorite, but then it kind of turns left and his brothers sold him into slavery, which seems like everything's going downhill there. And then he gets sold into slavery. He gets put in a high position in Potiphar's house, but then Potiphar's wife goes ahead and falsely imprisons him, lying on him and accusing him of something he didn't do. Then he gets put in jail, and he helps out both the cupbearer and the bread maker, and he helps them out, and he says, "Don't forget me. Tell Pharaoh about what I did for you." But then he's forgotten. But all of that in conclusion ends up with him actually saving a nation. So the title of this page that I am going to write out here with these alphas is Joseph's Story. And then I do a little bit of journaling, and all of it concludes in it being used for the good. It was used for his good, because even when plans seem to go left, they are, and God uses them for our good. But in this story, it was also for the good of the nation and for the Hebrews, which furthermore, we will see that in hindsight, it really saved them, the fact that Joseph was sold into slavery. So I put out the name Joseph, and then now I'm going to stamp out story. This alpha stamp is so popular, you guys. I think it's sold out, so I won't be able to link it below. But if Danielle has restocked it, I will link it below for you. And so under here, I write for the good. So it starts off with Joseph's story, and then I'll do a little bit of journaling. I add some pink, and then I'm going to cut out this faux washi strip in the Faithful Digitals. I'm going to add this towards the bottom of my page just to frame it out a little bit more, and also to add some more color to the page. There's a lot of blue going on, so this is kind of going to help me balance it out. I also grabbed a pink label, and on here I'm going to add my date. I had already stamped out my date on one of the puzzles, but it didn't pop off the page enough, so I thought this was the perfect way to go ahead and add that. So after adding this label and stamping out my date again, I am going to use the zigzag glue pen so I can add some glue along the bottom of this page, and like I said, use that faux washi in order to frame out my Bible journaling page. After I add that, I'm going to flip over the page and grab my scissors and cut off the excess around that corner. And now I'm going to grab another heart from the Faithful Digitals, and I'm going to move around some of the hearts. I'm just moving around some more of that hot pink color or fuchsia color around the page, just trying to make sure that I am using more colors than just the blue, and moving some color around the page. Adding a little bit of glue to that as well. And that is it. So now I'm going to add my journaling. My journaling is going to be a continuation of my title, and you can either read it along with the title, or you can read it on its own and it will still make sense. But I love just adding a little bit about how God orchestrated every good and bad piece of Joseph's story for the good. The last things I'm going to do is add some finishing touches to the page with some splatters to fill up some of that white space. And if you are new here, I hope you consider subscribing to the Creative Retreat channel. My teammates are going to be making some beautiful projects during the month of July with this faith art box that you don't want to miss. Hit the like button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Thank you so much for joining us each and every video, darlings. God bless. Bye.